You are aware that last week a matter was in court where the state refused for the burial to take place. They applied to court that the court should halt the burial, the funeral and burial process. An amicable understanding was struck, tabled before court, and the family decided to suspend, together with the state. They agreed that the funeral and burial will be suspended until there is an amicable settlement. And many people are saying, including the court stated that the Attorney General, we hope that between now and the dates given, the government and the family could talk and maybe reach an amicable settlement during this period. So far, the Attorney General hasn't moved to file his motion. He hasn't moved into file proceeding papers after getting that order from court. All we've seen are shadowy things, very shadowy things happening, where we hear there are men and women from Lusaka threatening to access a body, to steal the body. There are a lot of things that are happening in the background, and it's very, very distressing for the family to hear all these reports and to be texted about these threats that exist both against Makebi Zulu and against the family, even against the late president's remains, where we hear that there are attempts to access a body illegally. Now, what is this desperation about the body? What is this desperation about the body? Sishua wrote a wonderful piece the other day where he accused the president, that is from his knowledge, that the president wants to access his body for occult reason. It was a very, very strong write-up. You know how Sishua is. You must have seen that write-up. It's called The Occult, the President and the Body, Understanding Zambia's Legal Action Against the Lungu Family. What is a standoff? The family says, in this entire process, President Hakainde Hichilema must be absent from the funeral process. They've even proceeded to secure the remains of the late president. It was in the orders of the court. And if a funeral has to take place in Zambia, they've said the remains should lie at Chifwema the entire time. But during the negotiation, there was a compromise where President Hakainde Hichilema was allowed a period in which he could be present where the body is when, for example, he hosts heads of states from the region during the funeral and burial of the president, or a church service for the dignitaries from across the country, across the world, who are friends to the late president. So Dr. Sishua wrote The Occult, the President and the Body. And now we have seen, a Masonic conference being held in Livingston, and people have been excited on social media that this is what we've been talking about. All of a sudden, the Freemasons are free. They can interact freely. They can make donations freely. They are now being covered in newspapers freely over their donation. For example, they promised to build a school in Chilanga, and people are connecting all these dots. Remember, President Hichilema has refused that he's not a member of the Freemasons. I've got a video here, I'll play it, where he denied that he's a member of the Freemasons. Today, the Daily Revelation spoke to members of the Freemasons who said, what are you talking about? We are just a fraternal organization. Even bishops, pastors, artists are members of us. So again, that brought a spur of discussion in the country and on social media over the role of this underworld, this spiritual matter, And it's not alien. Remember when President Robert Mugabe died, the family also put up similar conditions that the body should not leave the house. It would leave the house, it would go for body viewing, but it would come back to the house. They even demanded a tamper-proof casket, and they also demanded that he be buried at home. So this belief in the occult and their role, if you believe in God, you know there is evil. It's very simple. If there is good, there is bad. And there are these concerns. Look at what happened in Zimbabwe.
Originally, why we changed was because we wanted a tamper-proof casket. Because people, you know, with rituals and things like that, people really are after his body or his body parts or whatever. So we wanted something that is tamper-proof. So that is why the casket was changed in the first place.
And so you can confirm that right now he's lying in a tamper-proof casket. But getting that tamper-proof casket, obviously, as you're saying, you wanted a tamper-proof casket. Where had you gotten the idea that somebody may want to tamper with his body, somebody may have an interest in any of his body parts? And could this really be the reason why you guys have decided against the mausoleum and not exactly the issue of trying to cut costs?
True, he wants to be, he said so. So, you know, we are trying to follow his wishes.
But just to interject there, you have given me the bit of the wish, indeed, and we totally agree. But you still haven't told me where the idea that you need a tamper-proof casket, because he didn't say he wanted a tamper-proof casket. The idea of wanting that tamper-proof casket and the fact that they may be interested in tampering with his body, where did that come from specifically?
It came from him because he said to his wife, to Auntie Grace, that, you know, if and when I'm gone, don't leave my body and be careful, people want to use my body. It was him who said it to the former First Lady. So we knew that, you know, spiritually he probably knows something.
That also speaks to the fact that we also didn't see him being laying at least overnight at one commando, as usually is the case. And that probably is that. Are you confirming that's why also the family kept him at home and didn't leave him at one commando and didn't leave him out of sight, because that's his expressed wishes before he died? Are you?
Yes, yes.
So there were similar concerns in Zimbabwe that you know, people were interested in the body of the late president, and the family took specific actions to ensure that that was not done. They got a tamper-proof casket. They insisted that he lay not at a place of heroes, but at the village. So these are not far-fetched. There's now been a campaign, if you've seen on public media and all media, where there are all voices saying put him to rest in Lusaka, in Zambia, bring the body to Zambia. It's very easy. The family has just one major request, very major request. They've just said the president must be absent from the funeral. That's all. That's what they've said. They can bring the body even tomorrow if there are guarantees that the president will not participate in the process. And they've stated that that was a wish of the late president. You might call it whatever you call it, but that's one of the biggest wishes, and that's what has caused the standoff. The president and his supporters and the negotiators have insisted that his Republican president is one of his duties to perform the role of the funeral of the late his predecessor. He has insisted that those are his duties as president. He has to be present, and the family has said, look, one of the strong issues was that he should be absent from that funeral. That's where the standoff is. It's not about where the body will lie. Where the body will lie is merely because the standoff has not been resolved. I can guarantee you today, if President Hakainde Hichilema said, I will not participate in this funeral, it's a state funeral, I'll delegate my vice president or any other minister, I will not participate, we'll put to rest the late president without any issue. So they've got one key request. You might think it's absurd, you might think they are being superstitious, whatever your views are, is that the late president, that was his wish. Some are trying to scandalize it. No, he didn't forgive. No, he forgave. He's a Christian. Every day he prayed and forgave all his, but this was just his wish. I played the video of Kaweche where he said the wish of the president was to lay next to Betty. And government flagrantly ignored that wish and bulldozed their way. I think, like John Sangwa has always stated, that it doesn't make it right or legal because the state ignored the wishes of the late president. But there is an insight which Kaweche revealed there, that although he wanted the late president to lie in, next to Mama Betty, he didn't appeal and he didn't lose that case. He emphasized this was just a judicial review and the matter wasn't heard in full. It didn't proceed anywhere. There was just an injunction that was stopped. I mean, that was not given, and the judge gave his reasons, but it didn't go to full trial and it didn't appeal. So that matter has never been fully determined. Your matter of authority has never been determined as confirmed by Kaweche. And again, he says there were other negotiations. Remember, Panji, who's the eldest son, put it on record and said, look, I don't mind what my young brother is doing, but as head of the family at the moment, eldest son, I am giving and granting government authority to put to rest the late president at Embassy Park. Mwanawasa, we did the same, despite his express wishes to lie at his farm. We buried him at Embassy Park. Like John Sangwa states, that that's no authority enough. We are not supposed to ignore the wishes of you do not want anyone's wishes to be ignored. In fact, John Sangwa was called for a new law, a law that allows for all these issues to be provided for. Like we have a cenotaph there opposite Cabinet Office. You've seen it with a big phallic symbol there. It demonstrates that all the people that died in World War I, World War II, there is no single body there, but we remember them. We might have to provide a law that when there's an impasse like this, we just provide a stone, a monument stone, to remember those late presidents, a place to remember them. The body may not necessarily lie there, like our friends have done in Tanzania. That's one of the issues we have to do as a country. The other matters is, for all these voices talking about the president, how he was head of state, how he should be respected, how he should lie in Zambia, sometimes I'm asking, where were you when the president was being harassed? Where were you? Where was your voice?
If people start doing that outside there...
Which people?
People have seen you, sir.
Why don't you go and talk to them to stop that fight? Because they're not allowed to fight. That's your job, to stop them from fighting, not to stop me from seeing my bishop. Your job is to stop lawbreakers or people who are planning to break the law, not to stop me from enjoying my right to move around freely or to meet my bishop or just pay courtesy call on him. That's not your job. Your job is to protect me, protect him, so that we can meet freely, talk, and then I go my way.
Yes, sir. When you were coming from Lusaka, you didn't inform us to say that.
Do I have to inform you? Do I have to inform you?
No.
Do I have to inform you?
I'm surprised.
Please, let's respect our constitution.
Do I have to inform you? Do I have to inform you, sir?
One officer.
Let's respect our constitution.
Zambia. And you know that Zambia is
and this is the church, and we're a Christian nation. And
look,
the church, or maybe,
you have started the
or maybe we have changed the laws, which in Parliament it doesn't come.
This is a cater score in an office. Does the bishop has the time to the right to invite anybody and then notify you? Do you own this place? I'm asking you, do you own the church?
The reason why you are not even comfortable as you speak to us.
So you want me to be comfortable?
No, sit down.
Listen.
Sit down.
No, I'm not allowed to sit down.